we're not a that in particular the power play in the second period, moved it well. We don't take a shot. We don't, you know what I mean? The shots are there. We're not taking them. Then when, we do take a shot, it's probably the wrong time. It's just they're not feeling too good about themselves out there.
Shock hit the Leafs locker room after their shootout loss, but the real impact came when Craig Berube stepped forward and broke the silence. His voice stayed firm, but his words cut through every player in the room. He pointed to mistakes the cameras did not show and exposed a deeper problem inside this team. And what he revealed next changed the mood instantly. The Leafs walked off the ice after a 2-1 shootout loss to the Montreal Canadiens, but the real story started once the game ended. Craig Berube spoke with clear force. He did not hide what went wrong. He said the team had a good first period, but everything shifted in the second. His tone sharpened as he explained how those 20 minutes broke their momentum. The room stayed quiet while he laid out the facts, and every player felt the weight of his message.
Second period, turned pucks over. That's basically what it boiled down to. Put ourselves in three-quarter ice. Basically, Montreal owned that period because of turnovers, in my opinion. Third period, pretty good period. Overall, missed the net like 15 times tonight at least.
Berube said the team turned pucks over in the second period, and he explained that these turnovers gave Montreal control. He described it in simple terms. Montreal owned that period because Toronto kept losing the puck. Each mistake pushed the Leafs back, and each turnover helped the Canadiens build pressure. The shift was clear to anyone watching the game, and Berube spelled it out with direct words. He then moved to missed chances. He said the Leafs missed the net about 15 times. These were not weak shots. They were real scoring chances that could have changed the game. Berube repeated that the players must hit the net. He stayed calm, but the message was serious. Shots that miss do not help. Shots that miss do not create rebounds. Shots that miss stop the team from gaining energy. His point was firm, and the players knew it. Then Berube spoke about the power play. The Leafs had 3 chances and got nothing from them. He said the power play has to come through for us, but it did not. He explained that the players moved the puck but did not shoot. He said they look unsure of themselves. This was a factual breakdown, not an opinion. The chances were there. The shot never came. Montreal closed the lane each time, and the Leafs lost a key moment in the game. Even with these issues, Berube said Dennis Hildeby did the job. Hildeby made 33 saves after being called up when Joseph Woll was placed on injured reserve earlier in the day. Hildeby held the Leafs in the game, but the team around him could not finish their chances, and Berube made that clear. The game moved into the third period with pressure rising on both sides. Toronto finally broke through when Scott Laughton scored a shorthanded goal on a breakaway. It tied the game 1-1 and gave the Leafs a chance to reset. The goal came at a key time, but it did not erase the issues Berube later focused on. Montreal still controlled long stretches of play because Toronto continued to make mistakes with the puck. This set the stage for a tight finish and a tense overtime. Montreal's only goal in regulation came from Cole Caulfield on a power play in the second period. That goal pushed his point streak to 10 games, the longest active streak in the league. It also showed how costly the Leafs' penalties were. Berube mentioned that turnovers and missed chances put the team in bad spots, and the penalty that led to Caulfield's goal was part of that picture. The Canadiens capitalized on their opportunities, and the Leafs did not. The overtime passed with no goals. Toronto had moments with the puck, but the same problems remained. Missed shots, no clean finish, trouble keeping pressure. When the game went to a shootout, the momentum leaned toward Montreal. For the Canadiens, Jakub Dobes made 22 saves in regulation and overtime. He also stopped all attempts in the shootout. Alexandre Texier scored the deciding goal. Cole Caulfield scored as well, sealing the win for Montreal and ending Toronto's 3-game win streak. Berube did not raise his voice, but every part of his message carried weight. He said the team must fix turnovers. He said the team must hit the net. He said the power play must shoot and stop hesitating. His words were direct. They were facts based on the game. None of them were opinions. The Leafs' record moved to 13-11-4 after the loss. Montreal improved to 15-9-3. These numbers gave players even more to think about as they absorbed what their coach said. Hildeby's performance stood out, especially because he was called up the same day Joseph Woll was placed on injured reserve. Berube said Hildeby did the job and the facts support it. He made 33 saves and kept the game close until the end. The issues were not in the net. They were in the turnovers, the missed shots, and the quiet power play. Berube pointed at those areas because they shaped the entire game, and they will shape what comes next for the Leafs. This is the kind of goalie injury that can end a season. Toronto felt it the moment Joseph Woll left the ice. A playoff push needs strong goaltending, and without it, a team can fall fast. The Leafs now face a huge problem, and this single event may decide the Leafs' entire season. But then, Woll had been one of the most steady players on the roster. In 8 starts since returning from personal leave, he carried a 2.44 goals against average and a .923 save percentage. These numbers helped Toronto stay alive in tight games, and losing this level of goaltending came at a bad time. And it leads to a bigger problem. Right after that, the Leafs already had another injury in the goalie room. Anthony Stolarz was out with an upper body injury. That meant Woll was the main starter. With both goalies hurt at once, Toronto suddenly had no proven starter available. And that pushes the next issue forward. Here's where it gets tougher. Woll did not leave the game because of a hit. Reports stated he stretched his leg during a save late in the second period and then skated off. He tried stretching again, but was unable to continue. That quiet moment created a major shift for the Leafs, and everything gets more tense after this. But it keeps building. Coach Craig Berube gave only one update. He said it was a lower body injury and that more tests were coming. No timeline was shared. Without a timeline, the team cannot plan clearly for the next stretch of games. And that uncertainty leads straight into the next challenge. Then comes the pressure. Woll's exit forced Dennis Hildeby into the net for the third period. He stopped all 9 shots he faced. His save percentage before this was .914, but he had only played a few games. Now he may need to carry a starter load, and that raises the next big concern. And it gets even more worrying. Toronto had just come off a 4-2-0 road trip. They returned home ready for a rivalry game against Montreal, but now they entered the matchup without a confirmed starting goalie. Timing became a major issue for the Leafs, and the pattern continues to grow. But the strain goes deeper. Toronto relied on Woll for calm play and steady numbers. His .923 save percentage showed strong performance through November and early December. Without him, the structure of the defense changes. Teams often adjust their style when the goalie changes, and this leads into another challenge. Here's the next twist. Hildeby showed bright signs, but he has not handled long NHL workloads. The Leafs may need to call up a goalie if Stolarz stays out. That could force new pairings and new routines. These shifts often take time to settle, and the Leafs do not have much time. And right after that, updates on Woll's injury stayed unclear. No confirmed return date was shared. With no information, the team must prepare for the chance of a long absence. This affects game plans and practice setups, and the pressure keeps rising. But something else stood out. The Leafs have dealt with goalie issues several times this season. Injuries made rotation difficult. The team hoped Woll's strong stretch would bring stability, but this injury added another layer to an already thin position. And the domino effect keeps moving. In the game against Carolina, Woll made 23 saves on 24 shots before leaving. The Leafs led 5-1. They had full control until the injury changed the situation. Even in a strong win, the loss at goalie overshadowed the scoreboard, and it pushes another worry to the surface. Here comes the next concern. Playoff races in the Eastern Conference tighten in December and January. A drop in goaltending can shift standings fast. Without their main starter, the Leafs face a tougher push to hold valuable points, and the race only gets harder from here. But it continues. Hildeby's calm third-period play gave Toronto hope, but he now faces stronger teams and heavier shots. He must adjust quickly. Young goalies can perform well, but large workloads come with big demands, and there is more to consider. Here's where things stretch further. Goalie changes do not just affect the crease. They change how defenders play the puck. They change breakout timing. They change how players block and clear. These small changes stack up over a full game, and even more over a full month. And the details grow sharper. The Leafs may need to test new practice routines. With only one healthy goalie, practice reps become limited. Coaches must rotate skaters to avoid overworking Hildeby while still preparing the team, and this leads to another difficult stage. But that's not all. Cap space limits make goalie trades harder. Moving players to find help in net requires careful planning. Goalie trades are uncommon in the middle of the season. Toronto may need internal solutions instead of outside help, and this adds more weight to the current roster. Right after that, no new injury update was shared from further tests. Without results, the team still does not know if this is a short absence or a longer setback. Planning without answers forces every position group to adjust day by day, and the tension stays high. Here's another part. Stolar's earlier upper body injury had already removed one half of the goalie pair. With Woll out too, the team faces both absences together. This situation makes depth the center of every conversation in the locker room, and the story keeps unfolding. And now the key fact remains. On December 4th, 2025, Joseph Woll left the game with a lower body injury. He did not return. No timeline has been released, and the Leafs now face a stretch of games with uncertainty at the most important position on the ice. And the true impact may grow even larger ahead. A huge trade rumor between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers just leaked, and the whole NHL is freaking out. Fans are scared, teams are confused, experts are arguing. And the league? Yeah, they definitely were not ready for this. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might be the biggest story of the season. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are talking about a trade rumor so big, so shocking, that it has the entire hockey world buzzing. This is not a small move. This is the kind of rumor that can change two franchises for years. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers, two of the biggest teams with some of the loudest fans, are suddenly being linked in a possible blockbuster trade, and nobody knows how this even leaked. But we do know this. If this trade happens, everything changes. Let's break it all down in simple, clear terms. So here's how the chaos began. Late last night, an NHL insider shared a message saying that Toronto and Edmonton were discussing a major trade involving top defense pieces. No names were confirmed, no official details were given. But the hint was enough. Fans went wild. Reporters started digging. Talk shows lit up phones. And within hours, social media blew up with theories and predictions. People were asking, is Toronto finally making a huge move? Is Edmonton trying to fix something big? Why now? What changed? Even though nothing was confirmed, the rumors spread like wildfire, because these two teams don't make small moves. When Toronto or Edmonton makes a trade, it's usually loud, and it usually shakes the whole NHL. Let's talk about the Maple Leafs first. Toronto wants one thing: a deep playoff run. Every year, fans expect more. Every year, pressure grows. And every year, the team tries to build the perfect group to finally break through. But the truth is, Toronto has some problems on defense. They need more balance. They need help in key spots. And they might need a big shakeup to change their playoff story. This rumor suggests Toronto might be ready to move a major piece to finally change the team's direction. Some fans think it's brave. Some think it's crazy, but everyone agrees on one thing. Doing nothing is no longer an option. Now let's look at the Oilers. Edmonton has superstar talent, but they've struggled with defense too. They allow too many goals. Their structure breaks down, and when things go bad, they go really bad. A move involving Toronto could help them fix their blue line and add something strong to the back end. The Oilers know they need to protect their superstars and stop giving away leads. A big trade could be the answer. Some insiders say Edmonton has been wanting a shakeup for months. Some believe the front office is tired of waiting, and some think the Oilers are finally ready to gamble big. This rumor may be the first sign that something huge is coming. As soon as the rumor dropped, fans absolutely lost it. Toronto fans, no way we're doing this. This changes everything. We better get something huge in return. If this goes wrong, the whole season is done. Edmonton fans, why would we take this risk? This could fix the team or totally break it. What are we even doing? Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, full of arguments. Sports shows ran emergency segments. Some fans started celebrating. Some started panicking. Some even said they'd stop watching hockey if the trade happens. This is how you know the rumor is big. It makes people emotional. It makes people nervous. It makes people talk. And the NHL, they're watching all of this very closely. A trade between the Maple Leafs and Oilers wouldn't just affect those two teams. It could change the entire league. Other teams might panic. Some might rush to make new offers. Some might pull out of deals. Some might call Toronto or Edmonton right now trying to block the trade. One insider even said this: if these two teams pull this off, it could set off a chain reaction across the NHL. That means more trades, more drama, more chaos, and more headlines. Exactly what fans love. Right now, nothing is confirmed. No one knows if the teams will actually make the trade. But here are the three most likely outcomes. 1. The trade happens. This would be one of the biggest moves of the year. 2. The rumor forces both teams to make smaller changes instead. 3. Nothing happens, but the pressure on both teams grows even bigger. No matter what, this rumor already changed the NHL conversation. This story is far from over. The Maple Leafs and Oilers are two teams that carry massive expectations, and if they really are talking about a blockbuster deal, the entire hockey world is about to explode. So stay tuned, because we'll be watching every update, every leak, and every insider comment as this story grows. And trust me, the NHL was not ready for this.
You know, it's a muscle type of injury, I was told, one that responds to rest a little bit, which is why I think it took a little longer. But given that fact, I think there's an argument to be made, why rush it for Saturday when you get 3 days till the next game? Mm-hmm. The Leafs, aren't in one of those situations where their schedule is going crazy in this exact moment. So, I don't want to say he's 100% back on this game, because you're right, it is a mystery.
What more bad news has hit Auston's captaincy to become a central concern for the Maple Leafs today? And how could this affect the team going forward? New public statements placed strong weight on his position and connected his leadership to the results the club is dealing with at this moment. This shift now frames the larger discussion around the team's direction. A former Toronto Maple Leafs general manager stated that giving the captaincy to Auston Matthews was a huge mistake. The comment was shared through a recent discussion and was delivered plainly. The same individual said the team elevated the wrong figure when Matthews received the C. These remarks started wide talk around leadership inside the Maple Leafs locker room. Matthews became the 26th captain in team history on August 14th, 2024. He is also the first captain from the United States in the long history of the Maple Leafs. Before becoming captain, he led the team in goals for several seasons and reached major scoring marks early in his career. These numbers placed him among the most productive players in the league. The former executive said the role of captain must show daily leadership. He stated that the C should not be based on goal scoring or star status. He pointed out that the team needed a figure who could direct teammates during during long stretches and remain steady in games where the team struggled. He said that defenseman Morgan Rielly would have been a better choice because of his on-ice consistency. These comments gained more attention due to the Maple Leafs season so far. The team has dealt with problems related to injury, defense issues, and hard losses. Analysts noted that the pressure on the captain grew as the team worked through long stretches of inconsistent play. Leadership became a stronger part of the public conversation as the season moved forward. Some observers said that Matthews' scoring pace this season dropped from earlier years. They also said that his performance showed smaller bursts instead of long runs of steady production. These points were used to question whether he could carry the full weight of captaincy during the team's tougher weeks. Recent reports also repeated concerns that his best years may already be past. This claim was made after a stretch where Matthews went through several games with reduced scoring and fewer high-impact plays. These comments added pressure as discussions about leadership expanded in the news cycle. The former executive linked these concerns directly to the captaincy. He said the team needed a leader who could speak up, guide teammates on the bench,